And I'm going to mute you all so that we don't have any background noise. But when you have something you would like to share or ask, you can unmute yourselves. So. Okay, so as I said, my name is Allison Nilsson. I am part of the Bazaar team, and I'm so glad I was able to share the information with you guys today. Some of you are new, some of you aren't. Any information I share, if you have a question, please don't feel bad if you have to ask a question. That's what we're here for. That's why we do these trainings each week. I started my business 3 years ago. I started to help with some extra cash for our bills and whatnot. My husband is in the military. We have 2 small boys. I have a 2-year-old and a 3.5-year-old, so I am one busy mama. And I am a full-time student, so very, very busy in my life. So these virtual parties have been a life changer for me. I started doing cooking shows only, and now I am solely virtual parties. But I don't close it off. I still do some cooking shows, so it's just a mixture of it all, and that's what makes our business great. As of October 1st, I became a director, so that's my exciting yay. It's been definitely a big change for me. I'm used to be the shy person in the back room that didn't talk to anybody, but now I'm more open, and I love these products and what they can do for others, so that's why I share. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go over the layout of the virtual parties, kind of step by step, so we all understand it. For those of us who are new, then you can understand how the steps go and a little bit more, and then I'll open up for questions. So let me share my screen. Okay, so here is the Google form. And don't save these Google forms because they change them periodically, so it's easier if you just open it up. This is what I do with mine. If you go up on the little tab that has the Google form, if you right click on it, you can go down the third one. It says unpin, or you can pin, and it just saves it to your internet browser, and you don't have to keep, where did I put it? Now where's the link? And it just is always there for you. And if you do the 4 to 6 parties a week, you're going to use this all the time, so it's easier. You pin it up there, and you don't have to worry about finding the link to get it opened up so you can do your stuff. And it's been recently updated, so new things coming, new templates are being shared, all sorts of different things. So, just keep an eye on that. So the big thing you want to do when you first go through this is you want to watch the overview success system. And this is Donna Landy sharing step-by-step from start to finish, how to get it all set up, how to keep it going, and all that. So it's a great one to watch. It's like, if I remember correctly, it's about 17 minutes, but definitely watch it and it'll make things make sense a lot more. So definitely that's your first step. The next thing, sorry guys. Okay, so there's some other helpful videos to watch. There's the virtual party training like I'm doing tonight. Somebody else has done that. They just posted the link to that. So if you need to watch someone different, it's totally fine. I'm not going to be offended. It's just different people bring different things into it. So absolutely. Trish Woods is part of the team who set up all these virtual party systems, and she is awesome. She just made executive last month or the month before. So I don't remember exactly, but she just recently, and she's a rock star with these. So she starts with the setting up of the Facebook and Consultants Corner and Post My Party. And a lot of people use Post My Party if you don't want to have to sit there and post each day, each time manually. And I'll go over that a little bit later. And then Claudia just has some top 10 virtual party tips. Things to do, things to make your parties even better. So, and then always join our Facebook group. So if you are not part of this group here, please add yourself, find it just Landy/Bazaar group virtual party training. In the post that Donna and I have been making today and yesterday, it had the link for it. And if you need help, talk to the person who recruited you or your director, and they can make sure that you're in that group, because that is the best group to be in. Trish posts daily what you should be doing, and if you watch, she'll put like October 22nd, here's the tips you should be giving, host coaching tips you should be giving today, and then it also has the link for the Google Doc. So you're always getting that Google Doc link. So it's definitely, you can ask your questions in there. Hey, I'm having problems with this, and that's one place you can get an answer. So there's many places to get answers. And then let's see here. This binder system, some people like to have a little bit more of a, okay, here's all my stuff, I want it organized. Not everyone has to do it that way. This is just one way to do it. And it's just a quick little couple videos to help you. So then to set up your show, first you want to have your checklist. So your host planner checklist. These are awesome parts to it. It's only a couple of sheets. It just shows you, I'll open them up so you can see. So here you can put your host information, when the show is, and you want to make sure you're asking your host to join your team 5 times. Sometimes it takes 6. I had a host myself who until the 6th time she didn't join. So you just never know. Here's where you can put your bookings and when their party is. This is where you can keep track of, did you ask about recruiting? Did you ask about bookings? Did they do the early bird post? You can keep track of their points. You can keep track of their order. Did you friend request them? Did they accept? Did you send them a thank you? If you gifted them, you can add your little gift there so you know who you gifted and who you took care of that way, you know, all that type of thing. And then it also at the very end will help you with your 2x2x2. And if you're not sure what that is, I'll explain it towards the end. So then the back of the sheet is your daily check-ins. So each day has your little check-ins, your host tips, your asking number 1, you ask, you do your little tips and your little things. It helps you keep yourself organized. And I just print them out, I write it all out, and then that way when I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on this show, I'm going to focus on Ashley's show, I'm going to, mark all these things off. Then that's all in one place and I'm not trying to search through it. Now, if you're more of a virtual person, you want everything on your computer, there's a way to do it that way too. It's totally up to you. So that's what that is. So mailing your host packet. You don't need to have this giant packet to send. You need to put 2 catalogs in there, the guest and the host special, order form. You can put 1 or 2, just kind of however many you feel like you really need to put. If the person is like, can I have a couple extra? Say, no problem, let's just put a couple extra in. But 1 is sufficient because most things are online. 1 recruiting brochure, a host letter. Pretty much it's just saying, thank you for hosting. And just I have one that's like, thank you for hosting, and it's got a little note to them with a recipe. Nothing big. A sample kit coupon. So that's what this here is. So if they decide to join, if their party, they decide, yeah, I'm going to join, they can take part of their free product.
Yes, you are. How are you tonight? Yes, ma'am.
There we go. So the kit coupon, they can get $25 or $50 towards their kit from their party. So it's an option if someone is like, oh, I can't afford the full kit. That is one option they can do. So just keep that open. But that also goes in that packet so that when you're talking to them, you can bring that up. Hey, did you look at the packet? Did you look at the brochure? What were your thoughts? Just little conversations about it. And that way, as the show goes on and you're asking your host 5 different times, you will know where they're at on it. And that way they have something to look at because people are physical. They want to look at something physical. So that's the way to do it. This is another little helpful video of how to get things set up. And it's also from Trish. You'll see a lot of her things in here because she is, between her and Donna Landy, they're the ones who got this thing set up, and it's the system. It works as long as you do it step by step by step. So here's little things you can do. So here's how to get the group set up. So you want to put in, like I was saying, we're going to use Ashley today. So Ashley's Pampered Chef Facebook party, or I put virtual party. However you feel like you want to put it up there, put it up there. You can put little emojis, and you can use these or you can use other ones, whatever you want, just to kind of distinguish one party from another. Because when you do 4 parties, it's like, okay, wait, I clicked the wrong one. So if you have a little bit difference on each one of them, it helps. And you're using closed group. Don't use secret because then it's a lot harder to get the people in, especially when you're like having the friends put their friends in, and it's a little bit harder. So just put it as closed. And because Facebook changed the rules like they do very often, you really can't pin it to shortcuts unless you only have, your limit is 10. So if you already have 10, you can't really pin it. But that's an option if you don't have 10 that you pin, which I do all the time. So it's just, you make it work for you. So then once you get it set up, then you can add a cover photo. And this link will give you different samples of them. You can use whatever you want. They're just picky about the size. So these ones are already set to go, ready for Facebook. So then here's the description. You go in to do the description. You want to put, Ashley's personal show site, and then you put in the link. It has everything but the last part of the link. So usually what I do is I put first and last name. Or if they've hosted with me before or hosted before at all, you might not be able to put their first and last name. So you can add virtual party at the end or whatever you want to use to make it easy. Because the numbers and letters that they put in makes it a little bit harder for them to just type it in and go. So you can just kind of critique it to the way you want it. And then here's just kind of how the party will work, how to order, things like that. And then put your information at the bottom, your name and your number. So if they have a question, they can contact you. And also remember to go, if you are doing like Post My Party or CintShare, Facebook is now requiring you to put it as the app. So you have to go in and into the settings and put add app and type in Post My Party or CintShare, whichever one you use. So like, hold on, let me find my group here. So here's one that I've had going on. So if you go here where it says more and with the 3 little lines, go down to edit group settings. And down here where it says Post My Party, you'll have add app is the only option that will be there, but I've already had this party going, so that's why it's already there. You go in there, it'll have a screen that pops up, and you'll just type in Post My Party and it'll pop up Obviously, I already have it, so that's why it didn't pop up the original one. You click on it, you go down to the bottom, you hit save. Then it's there. If you don't do it, Facebook will email you and say, hey, you didn't add this, you might want to add this, because otherwise all your posts are not going to post. And then add your party to Consultants Corner unless you've had it there for a long time, or you've booked out in advance or whatever and it's already there. But you got to make sure it's put in Consultants Corner or it's not going to be a show. So it's just easy as that. Here's the party templates. So Post My Party, you can have if you don't already, if you're new, Post My Party has a link that you can get 30 days free. So you can try it out for 30 days. And it's $9.95 every month after that. So I use it all the time, and I love it because I don't have to sit there and post every little thing. So if you got a busy life and you need something to make your life simple, this is the way to go. Instant Share is the same way. I've just chosen to go this way, so you can look either way. And then here is if you wanted to make up your own template, here's different ideas of how to keep things going. And here's a little video to watch. And here's a sample template. So if you click on this one, it'll pop up in Post My Party. Or you can go down here where it says Sample Evernote. And that's the one where you would click if you want to post it to your own, or you need to put it into SyncShare. So there's that. And this they changed this up a little bit. So they added this, and this is where you do the gifting. So you do the early bird gifting. You do the gifting on Monday for those who order early in the show. Then you go back into Friday where it's just as the show's closing. Some people wait to the last minute to order because they don't think they can put in their order beforehand and add things towards the end too. So some people wait till the last minute. So there's an ordering when it says free gift if you order by midnight. So you can do a citrus pillar, or there's little things that cost $1 or $2 that you can add to it. And then also Friday, there's a party with me drawing. You do a drawing for anyone that books a party. And that will give people oh, I want a party because I get a gift. Sometimes it's just that little initiative that helps. And these gifts, you don't have to do them every single time. You could just do one big grand drawing, or you put it to where you are at your business. Because it's you that are paying for these gifts. So if it's a little bit harder for you to do that, just know that you can do that. So here's some pictures you can use, and it has a lot of different of the host coaching pictures. So as you go through, you'll see here's a little saying, here's a picture. You can't, on the Google Doc, you can't just click the picture and say save. So you need to do it this way. And that's what I have on this tab. So I have all these different ones. And that way you just right click and save, and there you go. So there's that. And then here goes your pre-party. So your Sunday, Monday before the party, you're thanking the host, confirming your date. Then Tuesday, you are sending your messages to your host, thanking them for hosting a party, and want to make sure that they've received their host packet. And if you haven't sent it, you just kind of tweak the message to what you want it to say. And this, excuse me, this is where you ask the host, the first time you ask the host if they want to join your team. And it gives you the verbiage, everything. And if they're like, yeah, I might, maybe, ask them if they're okay if you add them to our work from home group. And and you tell them this is the group. You can look at, different questions, or you can find some answers. If not, we can look at it and then we can talk about it. So that's the first thing. So then Wednesday before your party, your host coaching tip here, you talk to them about collecting outside orders, and you talk to them, hey, when I get your group set up, we want to invite 150 to 200 guests, because the more people you want to make sure, because only about a third of the people will actually come, or that third will only order. So you want to ask or invite more. And there is one of these has a message of if they only added like 30, then there's a message to say, hey, I know you only added 30, but let's think of other people you can invite. Okay. So the pink is really the pink or the light, whatever color you want to call it. It's for you. It's for you to look at. So here it says, set up the group Facebook party if you haven't already. Invite the host to the group. So you want your party to be completely ready before you invite the host, so that when she starts adding friends right away, it's already done. So then here's a message for her to start adding people to the group. And then you want to remember to send your before email from Consultants Corner. And then when you have 4 hosts in 1 week, so like I have Troy, Leslie, Diane, and Ashley. Those are my hosts. I don't want to go and message each person individually, each host coaching tips. So what we do is we put them all in one group message. Then you're sending one message for each, for all 4 hosts in one message. It will make your life a lot easier. Okay. And trust me, it makes it easier, because then they're like, oh, somebody's already done it, I need to do mine. Because you add in the messages, it'll say when done, say done, or thumbs up, or some people give some fun emoji just to show, hey, I did it. So, and then here's some daily host coaching for that. And here it shows a little picture of 200 to 250 guests. Okay, and then, just read more of these. Here's a message for those who do a fundraiser. Here's a little message. So then Thursday evening, so you're going to have a Thursday morning host tip and then a Thursday evening, because you want to make sure that they're inviting their people, because Friday is when things are going to start being posted. And then here's Friday before the party. Okay. And there's just, you can add the little girl, or you don't have to have the girl on it. It just kind of depends on who your hosts are. But, so then there's Friday evening, here's Saturday host coaching. And here you'll see task 1, task 2. I usually will send the first little blip, task 1. And that way they have a chance to say done, and then I send the next one, and then the next one. So I don't send it all in one huge message. And here's where you ask host number 2. So you ask that host, hey, you're doing such a great job inviting. Your friends sound so excited. What are you, word it to the way you are. I'm not very creative. I still use a lot of the different sayings that people told me to say, but I'm learning. You learn as you go. And then there's the Sunday pre-post and, the pre-parties and the host coaching. And this is where you want them to be aware of their host rewards and where they sit as you go. So there's tasks. Here's where the party begins. Here is the tips for you to have a successful party. Here's party tips, daily tasks to maximize your party, and then Monday. And so you want to you as a consultant, read the little red, send the message to your host. You want to get on and welcome each one of the people who have said, click going or already in the group. You want to send them, welcome to the party. And you just, let them know there's a early bird giveaway. And then there's the host coaching and fun little images. And if you find another image that you like, you can use that. These are just in there so that we have something to send. And then there's Monday evening, so you just keep going. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday, you want to make sure they know, hey, last day to order is tomorrow, so they can start messaging their friends and saying, you know, we're closing out the show tomorrow, just a pre-warning if you haven't gotten your order in. And they'll make a post and you want them to message their friends. You want them to do both just because not everyone is going to see the post. And you want them to be able to get as much as they can. And this is not a pressure of, hey, let's get this. But that way they are aware of it. And then there's the Thursday. So when you do your Thursday host coaching, you let them know where they're at on their sales. Because not all the time are our hosts looking at their tasking on their side of the host. So like Elizabeth's at 86, Heather, you're at 140, Hillary, you're at 44.50, and Justina, you're at 0. So that way they know where they're at and they know how much they need to get. And you look it up and divvy it out to what sales they are at. And that way they can know where their next host rewards are going to be and what they could get for free if they got those orders in. So there's a bunch more on Thursday. Then Friday, you want to, good morning, and let's get these tasks going. And then there's some for a wall post on their personal page, letting them know that their party is going to be closing today. And then if you haven't, and so Wednesday leading into Thursday, you want to make sure you friend request those guests. Now, I do it a little bit different. When they start interacting and commenting, I start friend requesting them because in my experience, some of mine have not friend requested me until way after the show. And then they don't see my messages when I start messaging people about hosting or about thank you for your order. Some people just are not messaging me because they're not seeing it because of the way Facebook is now. So I friend request them early, and you want to get their messages and their communication going early. You don't want to wait till the last minute. But here is some Facebook messagings about bookings. And you just start with a little conversation and it goes from there. And here's some messages and stuff. If your party doesn't reach 200, and sometimes it will happen. Don't beat yourself up because it didn't make it. That's why we have you do at least 4 a week. And there's little messages for them to post on their Facebook or do a personal message, that type of thing. Asking number 4. And Saturday, so Friday midnight is when you it closes up for guests to order. Saturday is when you're going to get the host information taken care of, anything else that's loose so you can get it closed. Okay. And then you can look through each one of these. But then after the show ends, you also want to send the consultant email on Consultants Corner, thanking them for hosting, letting them know you had a great time. When products ship, you can make some fun image. Claudia is always crazy when she sends her images. And then here's some more asking for bookings. You want to let them know that the show is submitted so that everybody knows now your cards are going to be charged. And those who are in direct ship, that's a little bit different. But for the rest of us, you want to make sure they know when it's submitted, and then when the product shipped, post a fun little video or a picture on the group so they know. So you just kind of, and then here's some recruiting. So if you're doing it from your launch party, here's some really good messages. Here's a green dot message. And what a green dot is, for those of you who don't know, is if you're on Facebook and you find somebody who on the right-hand side, if it says they're on, because their dot is the dot next to their name is green, here's a message you can send to try and get a booking. That's what a green dot is. So, and always ask your hosts for referrals. Who do they think would be interested in hosting? Because sometimes they're the best ones to know because it's their friends. So, excuse me, sorry guys. Okay, 2 by 2 by 2. This is 2 days, 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 months. There we go. And it's just 2 days thanking them for their order, you know, asking if they had a fun time, and this is another chance for you to get a booking. 2 weeks is usually about the time that they're going to get their products. So you want to make sure that you call them, message them, whatever way you do best, making sure they got their products okay, pull them out of their box, make sure they don't have any questions. And then 2 months is just a regular checkup, kind of make sure their products are still doing great for them, that type of thing, and seeing if there's anything you can do. There's another chance to ask them if they would want to host. Growing, this is another one that's really big. Let's see. It looks like, oh. I'm trying to make it big so you guys can see it a little bit. Growing your team. When you do virtual parties, you want to be able to check at 3 leads at your party. 1 is going to be your host, and 2 will be your guests. And these are some different things to help interest people into joining your team. And this is down towards the bottom of the Google form, but it's some different ways. There's little conversations in there that you can try and get out of. And if you're having struggles with responding, send the screenshots to your director and they can help you find the best way to answer them back. And sometimes you know what to say, you're just like, I don't know how to put it. Same thing. Ask your director and they can help you with the wording, because when I was recruiting, I was not good with the wording, and so I was like, Claudia, what do I say? So I'd send them image and she'd help me figure out the best way to say it. So, because about 1 out of 5 hosts will join your team. So you want to just keep asking. Here's some more resources. So there's always weekly trainings. These virtual party trainings are done weekly. Different people do it so that you can kind of have a different view of what somebody else does. So definitely just keep going through it. And I keep doing trainings with somebody else because I could learn something that somebody else does. And sometimes we learn from you that we didn't even know. So you just never know. There's a group that has different games. So if you're like, I need to switch my games up because I've had this group several times and most of them know the answers. So I need to switch it up. So here's a group that has some games. There's different virtual party groups from Pampered Chef. So there's that one. And then here's a Google Doc that has different recruiting objections. So if you need some help with that. And this is the same pictures from above. And here's some more wordings for bookings. Arlene, who is Trish Wood's daughter, is also a rock star with virtual parties. And here's some wordings that she's used to build up bookings. There's also birthday bookings. So when you go to Facebook and you're like, so-and-so has a birthday, you want to go to your area where that has the birthdays and message people and send them a happy birthday message. And some people are really like, oh, that sounds so much fun, let's do it, because they want to get some free product for their birthday. So that's another way to get a booking. And the biggest part about getting bookings, cannot stress enough, is the follow-up. So if somebody doesn't message back, or you know they've seen it but they haven't really done anything with it, respond. And if they have not responded within the last 48 hours, you want to reach out again to make sure that they saw it, or make sure that they know it's not some just message you send 90 billion people. So you want to make sure you follow up with them and don't miss anyone. And then here's a confirmation email or message that you can do as soon as you get a party set up. Here's another just a different form of one. And here's one about asking your host 5 times. So that way you can see the different parts to it. You know, before you set up, as people, they're inviting their friends, and 2 different times during the middle of their party, one kind of in the middle, one towards the end, and then the last one is right before you close out the party. And then when you are sending booking messages and they're like, no, thank you, you want to make sure you're asking, no, not now, or no, not ever, because there's a big difference. And it might not be a good time for that person right now, but they might say, okay, yeah, in a few months maybe. Then you're like, okay, I can do that. And then you write it down, in a few months, contact again. And that way you don't lose a booking that you could have had because you didn't ask. So yeah, that's pretty much the outline. I'm going to open it up to any questions that you guys might have. So just unmute yourself. Cassandra, you're welcome. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, ask, or if you have a thought, I don't care, feel free to comment. We all do. Cassandra's saying in the comments she was flying by the seat of her pants to get through the first 30 days. I think we all do. Troy can tell you this. Troy's not a new consultant. She's been around for a while. She's been around longer than me. So we all get there. So if no one has any questions, I will just end this out.
Thank you for doing this.
No problem.
Listen, I keep trying to restart and do the virtual thing. So so I appreciate the training and taking the time to walk us through each step.
No problem. And Troy, I tell you, it's the easiest thing. You just follow each step.
All right.
I promise you follow each step and you will be a rock star, because I tell you, that's how I made directorship.
Right on.
Only virtual parties, that's all.
Awesome. Very cool. Thank you.
Anybody can do it.
Awesome. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.